Good morning. Good morning, Denise.
Good
Thank you.
morning.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for always showing up. I've had the privilege of working with you over feels like a lifetime when you were, in the C-suite and in an executive position and recognizing the importance of bringing in some integrative resources to your clients. It was always a yes. You are an extraordinary leader. You're an extraordinary mother. You're an extraordinary friend. And so it is a great honor to once again have you back in our life and yet another season of our life. So thank you again for saying yes.
And thank you for the invitation. It's been good already. It's been good already.
Yeah. Thank you. So the first question I have is, what are you letting go of this season?
Well, I think probably most significantly is my work. Or maybe I should say what I considered my work or thought of as my work. That being my career. And that in the last year I have officially retired. I have kind of semi-retired several times, and I think that kind of speaks to some of the struggle that I've had around making that transition. When I moved from New Jersey and had worked for 25 years at a not-for-profit organization in an executive position, that was very much a part of my identity and a part of my time and my life, and I was very tied to it, and I was very proud of it. Um, but I was eager and ready to move here to Cape Cod, and was really looking forward to that. My daughter was transitioning, had completed school, had completed college, and so it allowed me to move up here. But I knew that I still wanted to work, and kind of assumed that I would do similar work, and I did. Not in the same capacity, but continued to work. Uh, and it was good to make the shift of no longer doing the 60-hour work week and doing a somewhat reasonable work week. But as I got into my 60s and realized that that the time was going to come, and I was ready, and I was tired, and I was in this beautiful place. And I had also been preparing that one of the reasons I came to Cape Cod is I have always enjoyed art, and this place with its light and its skies and its sand and its waters, and the artist community here is just fabulous. And even when I lived in New Jersey and we had a home here, I used to come here regularly for workshops and kind of got my art community established over many years. That really, what I found is kind of rather than retiring from something, but moving to something has made such a difference for me. I really haven't felt the loss, I think, as profoundly as I would have. I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt it. I miss the people, I miss the work. And, and honestly, I have always struggled with completely unfounded financial anxiety. And so, moving to a time where I am not saving, but I'm spending has been really, really challenging for me. And so, those kind of changes and kind of letting go of my identity as an executive, as a leader, as as the person that I had built for all of those years, as a mentor, as a female leader, as an expert in senior living, all of those things that I worked hard towards, kind of letting those go. Um, and but it helped a lot to move toward something that I loved and I was learning, and learning something new, that I really enjoyed, has really, I think, helped the letting go happened with much more ease.
Yeah. And I think what I've come to realize is that we have a container large enough to hold a lot of emotions, and that's okay. I mean,
Hmm.
that's the richness of getting older and experiencing so many seasons in our lives that we can feel the grieving and the loss and also excitement and joy and gratitude and abundance. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
and and to be able to not, I think, suffer in silence
Hmm.
about what so many, women, men, yes, but this is all about women. It's all about
Hmm.
us. Don't have the opportunity to feel and then to be able to express.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Are there any parts of your story asking to be shared or honored or rewoven?
Um, I don't think rewoven. I think the story is what it is. I think every woman's story deserves to be shared, and certainly to be honored. But for me, that kind of sharing the story, is something that resonates for me. I have found, you know, in particularly as a young woman, the benefit of mentors and female mentors was so tremendous for me. And then, really, through my life, mentors, friends, women who were sharing. And so now I think the sharing of my story and anything that I can impart, any wisdom that I've gained, um, whether that be, my daughter is now in her 30s. She has her group of friends. And I mean, it's one of my greatest joys to have her and her friends come here. Sometimes her friends come here without her, even, for a respite in this beautiful place. And, to be able to kind of, hear what's going on in their lives and kind of, if asked, give advice, share wisdom, and really kind of encouraging them to, um, you know, really find meaning in the journey, rather than, the achievement. That, really it is the journey, and the learning that is the achievement rather than the outcome. And, really kind of encouraging women to, um, really do what matters to them, um, rather than what's expected of them. And, kind of those reminders, I think, it's not only to them, but to myself. Every time I say those things, to others, I think it's an opportunity for us to remind ourselves of those things, because even though you feel like you've made so much progress and you feel like you're in a really good place, um, I think every time you say it out loud, to others, it is a really great opportunity to remind yourself, because we all fall back into old patterns. And it's
Yeah.
important not to kind of beat yourself up about it, but just have the awareness of the old patterns that creep up. And the ability now to kind of see that old pattern and pull away from it and realign myself is just so much easier than it was even a decade ago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. First of all, just hearing you, it sounds like, sitting at the head of the table. Many of us don't have our parents or grandparents, definitely grandparents, but parents. And now we're beginning to lose our friends, and what I'm hearing in your story is the ability to not only model, but this is your legacy. And I have marched with you, with your daughter and her friends, and you really are, living and modeling and showing up and leaning in.
Mhm.
So I've had the opportunity to see you do it in real time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what a gift.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there is that realization that I'm the matriarch of the family now. And I take that seriously. And, I see it as an opportunity. Again, people did it for me. And to be able to do that for others, particularly for young women, really means a lot.
Yeah. And to be able to talk about it, I don't think generations in the past had these type of deep conversations
True.
about, they just marching orders,
Right, right, right.
lived and then died,
That's
but they
right.
weren't
That's right.
reflecting.
Yep,
So
yep,
it's
yep.
just, another thing that we're able to give our kids and their friends and that this is it's like what is that, a new pair of grandma's combat boots,
That's right.
whatever that saying was.
Right, right, right.
So what would it feel like to sit in a circle of women where you are fully seen and heard and not fixed?
It it would and it does feel fabulous. It feels um, as I shared with you, that's not a place that I had in the past felt terribly comfortable in. And I've gotten a lot more comfortable in it because when I've stepped in it and I've allowed myself to be vulnerable, that there has been, kind of great reward in that, mutual reward. And so, you know, having that opportunity and kind of seeing those opportunities that have happened over the years. I have a kind of unusual group of friends that I have had for oh, well over 30 years. We are go back to we were either childless or had very, very young children. And we were a group that actually at that time spanned kind of internationally, about 10 or 12 women, and began to kind of do a getaway once a year. At that time, it was, young moms who needed to get away. And at that time, they were kind of adventures. We did, hiking the White Mountains. We did several rafting trips. We did, trips to Paris and London and Barcelona and, things like that that were fun as well. We did yoga retreats. And we have continued that, and the group has gotten a little larger. And I think we're all in the US now, but across the country. And we usually only see each other in person maybe twice a year. But the phone calls, the texts, the things that we have been able to do to support each other, um, and be there for each other through all sorts of transitions,
Mm.
um, through, loss, through painful things, through loss of parents, through divorces, through health issues, through great joys, has just really been so helpful and so beneficial. Um, so that having that space, making that space and making myself available in a real way to those spaces and those circles right now um, is really, really important to me.
Oh my goodness. It's like the lead in our lives. It's the richness, it's the chocolate cake, it's the pearls, it's the sisterhood. There's nothing like sisterhood.
Mhm.
And what a gift.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, it
now we
really.
actually have the time,
That's right. That's right. That's
you
right.
know, to
And a lifetime of experiences, shared experiences, the kind of the ups and the downs. And it is the being there for each other consistently,
yes,
and that months and months and months can go by, and that you can send a text, pick up the phone, and that those are women who will be there for you. And it's not even necessarily, BFFs. It's, just, I mean, some of these women I've known for many, many, many years. I am friends with them. I don't know every part of their lives, but I do feel comfortable to have almost any conversation with them. I know they care deeply for me, and I care deeply for them.
that is like the warm cashmere sweater blanket that really, really fills up our heart and our soul more than anything else.
Mhm.
And over a lifetime to be able to, when it wasn't easy and you didn't have the time and to make it happen anyway.
Right, right.
So, and that is just magical. Man, I
Mhm.
wish that for every woman
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because it really is incredibly special
yeah,
to really have that type of connection.
yeah,
And I think also not being judged, and just being loved up,
yeah,
is extraordinary.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So who could you become? You know what, you've answered this question before so radiantly. Um, okay. What would you tell women who are actually afraid of aging?
Mm. Mhm. Don't be. Don't
Yeah.
be. I have, having worked in senior living my entire life, since I'm 14 years old, I do have this kind of unique insight of having been around seniors who have lived into their 80s and 90s and 100 years old, and have had just some amazing conversations with people who have had, lifetime experience. And again, women from very different generations, from my generation or even my mother's generation. But these kind of commonalities of even in different generations, um, the wisdom that they share and are willing to share, and particularly for those generations before that really kind of did not have the benefits that we do, and them kind of still flourishing and coming into their own as they got older and realizing the benefits now. I mean, we still have a long way to go for sure.
Yeah.
But it gives me a deep appreciation for kind of what I have and kind of making the most of it. And so, kind of, um, really, our society just puts such pressure on us in our time of aging in our language, um, in media, in how we look, how we come across, and somehow finding the balance for what is right for us, again, without judgment, and then leaning into that, and not feeling like you need to make an excuse for any of it. If I want to go without makeup and wear my hair in a ponytail and have paint all over my clothes, pretty much everything I own has paint on it now. Where I live now does give me an ability to not be anywhere near as materialistic as I was before, and I am loving that. But I also have no judgment for people who, kind of want to be, wearing their most flamboyant red lipstick until they are 104 years old. Like, go for it, like whatever works for you, be you, and enjoy that. And don't do not get pulled back into what everyone else, what everybody else, what society tells you you should be doing. We've spent too many years doing that, and just don't waste away these glorious years in struggling with that stuff. You struggled for too long. There is just great joy in this ease that is available to us right now. And, take advantage of, for me, these are years of deeper ease.
Mm,
And, I just encourage people to, like, find it because it's there.
I love that. And so what have you learned? What risk are you most grateful that you took?
I think it kind of comes back to the question you started with, the letting go. Um, there's a lot of things that I have let go of, some kicking and screaming,
Mhm.
um, some that have taken decades, some that aren't completely gone, but I'm really very happy with, and very pleased with my progress in letting go, and feel like I'm on the right path to, fully letting go, and that the journey of letting go is continues to be a good journey for me. Um, and so all of it has served me well. So, um, you know, staying in that place of looking forward, rather than looking back, uh, has, required that risk of letting go.
Yeah.
Um, and and as I said, that's served me well, and has allowed me to be excited about, what lies ahead. Um,
Yep.
it's allowed me to really, kind of dive into my art, to be honest about my work now. And that honesty in my work has really, um, really changed, uh, what my work looks like and what it means to me, um, and how I do my art, um, so that that's not a struggle, because that could have easily been my new job and my new struggle. And, getting sales and follows and, more juried shows. And, just like the old stuff, I could just be repeating things. And it's always a little bit of a risk. I mean, we're human. We fall back into all of those things that kind of tug at us all the time. But that ability to kind of get realigned, uh, has served me well, in this new work of my life. And for me, my art is kind of my new voice.
Ah,
Being honest with my art is being honest with my voice now. And so that, allows me, this ability to look forward with, great anticipation.
and joy
Yeah.
and freedom
Yeah.
and
Creativity. Yeah.
and like when we catch ourselves, to be able to like have almost like an inner smirk, like, oh, there I go again.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And to really pivot and
Yeah.
to learn to, that's a practice,
Mm-hmm.
to just wear it like a loose garment, not get into ego, not
Right.
get into any of that stuff that,
Right.
you know, um, served us, in so many ways, and really just
Or
really,
didn't, or
or
didn't, and we
didn't.
still like fought,
Exactly.
fought against the tide.
Right, like
Yeah.
a dog on a bone, and
Right.
grinding.
Right.
So recognizing all of that as well and truly being in, talk about process and being present to what is today, and that is enjoying,
Mm-hmm.
fully enjoying, art and the
Mm-hmm.
work you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect. Now, here are one word that describe your 60s. This is like a rapid fire.
Okay.
I'm going to ask one word.
Okay.
So, one thing that women overthink.
Hmm. Rapid fire, huh? Okay.
That's okay. We move a little slowly these days, so rapid fire looks
Uh,
different.
oh, uh, I think relationships,
Great. And something that you stopped apologizing for.
taking up space,
A daily ritual that you cherish,
prayer.
and one belief that you've outgrown.
That I'm not enough.
If this chapter is called What Now? How would you answer it today?
Tomorrow,
I love that.
today, and tomorrow.
Yeah, one day at a time, truly,
Mm,
one
mm,
day at a time.
mm.
Thank you so much, Denise. I adore you. I respect you. I honor you. I am incredibly grateful for this friendship, this relationship, and to be back in each other's lives just is incredibly beautiful, that we get another season to share, another season of each other's lives that we get to share.
Yeah, and back at it to you and Penny, like to receive that email and texts and this first Zoom that we did together, you know, for sure, very close to the top of the list of, things I'm, well, oh, at the top of the list of things I miss in New Jersey there are people that I miss desperately, right?
Yeah.
And for sure, um, the two of you brought some really unique things and important things into my life that I was not getting anywhere else. And you really, really helped me with my practice. And you know, my yoga practice has shifted for sure here. Um, but my yoga community here, which in a lot of ways has turned into my breathwork community here, um, uh, um, and overlapped with my art community here. I wouldn't have that if I didn't have the two of you in my life. And you know, it has really made a difference in my life. And so to be reconnected with the two of you this way, and then to have the tentacles of who you know and who you've come to know, you know, over the past years, I just really look forward to getting to know these women more and sharing. You know, we see what this has done for all of us and what it can do to take us into some really great years if we allow it to. I
Yeah,
think
and
I really think we've got like some of the best years ahead of us. I really, really do.
I agree. And we are so much more, I could cry, like very aware of what's around the corner.
Mhm.
And so I just want to just really enjoy, truly enjoy and be present
Sure. Yeah.
each moment because I mean, we talk about it in meditation that when you are learn to be present, the moments last longer, and it's so true because
Hmm.
we don't know what's going to happen we do know,
Yeah, sure we do.
and we know. And so the knowing, it's like balancing out, the not sitting in the fear of what's around the corner, but recognizing it's going to happen and be. And
Hmm.
in the meantime, the process, we're really going to
Hmm.
just savor every juicy moment
Hmm.
of where we are.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
numbers are big,
Yeah, yeah,
you
I
know.
agree. I agree. You know, I again, I back to, you know, having sat with people who were 90, 95, 100 years old, who are in their final days, and they speak of such contentment and joy that they did live in the moment, that they are grateful for what they did and what they experienced, and that they're not afraid of what's next for them. You know, like I know that that is possible because I've seen it. I've seen the other parts too. I've seen people who are deathly afraid of death and
Yeah,
what's beyond and all sorts of stuff and struggle, struggle, struggle. Like,
yeah,
so, you know, having seen people who just embrace their lives and really live their lives and
yeah.
appreciated, um, and we're so grateful for what they have and took advantage and gave back. And it just, you know, you kind of you experience that and say, that's that's a model for me. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be.
That's what I want.
Hmm.
Those are the people in the, 70s and 80s and 90s. No longer are we looking at the 20, 30, and 40s, and even 50-year-old sounds young.
Yeah.
It's like I look at these people and we want what they have.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get to choose because of this mindfulness, this awareness, this opportunity to have these type of, relationships and talk about it and truly make a conscious decision,
Hmm.
to be that, to want that, to have that.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank
Exactly.
you. Our next virtual women's circle is going to be on June 24th.
Hmm.
Please join us.
I will be there.
You are so instrumental, and it means a lot having you part of our circle and part of our lives. So thank you. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you.
Have a wonderful day, and we'll speak soon.
You be well.
You be well as well.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.